Now you can have your cameras on or off, entirely up to you. It's quite nice within the live session to put it on gallery view, even if there is we don't have our photos there. It just gives that sense of us as a group together, where we can't gather in person, and we're in our various corners of the world. And for those of you accessing the live recording later, knowing that you are part of a group of 8 people, and that we're holding this space for you, even though you're not with us at the same time. So we're going to begin with lying down, so setting yourself up in a posture that's comfortable. Or if you are sitting, sitting maybe against the wall, or having a chair that's going to support your back. So having a sense of kind of being held and grounded, like maybe having a blanket over you, just having some kind of weight on you. And just taking a moment to settle and arrive. And taking this time to connect to your body. And feeling the points of contact that you're making with the earth. Having a sense of being held. Being still. You've taken the time out of your busy day to be here. As we practice these techniques, which are very specific and very deliberate and support building neural pathways. When we practice in the quiet moments, we can access them in the busier, more stressful moments. This opportunity to ground in our bodies, and that our bodies are always there, they're always present when our minds are wandering and creating stories, that we always have the breath and the body to ground into, to connect to the present moment, and that it's as much a part of the experience as the stories that go with it. You are a combination of your genes, your experiences, and your environments, amongst other things. Let's be with our bodies. Get very little focus unless they're causing us pleasure or pain. And having a sense of being held and supported by the earth, feeling grounded. And remembering to follow my instructions only if they feel right for you. This is really important. We're learning these techniques to take care of ourselves. If there are parts of the practice that you don't want to be with today, listening to that, honoring that. And finding somewhere neutral within your body to ground yourself. So that could be the breath, it could be a point within the breath, or it could be a point within your body, it could be the back of your head, it could be your left foot, it could be the palm of your hand. Just taking a moment to explore somewhere within your body that when your mind has wandered, or there's parts of the practice that don't feel right for you today, that you can ground yourself here, that you can bring your attention here and simply observe what it is to be you in this moment from another aspect of your body. Being playful and curious, finding somewhere neutral without a juicy story that you're going to wander off into. You can bring your attention to the sensations, and when you found it, bringing your attention to your in-breath, simply breathing in noticing the sensations of your in-breath. Perhaps checking for any points of tension within your body. If you're holding your belly in, I invite you to let it go. Let it be soft and round. This allows your lungs to fill with air. Let your belly go. Check for tension in your face, in your shoulders. Not clenching your jaw shut. And an invitation to take an internal weather report. How are you? How are you feeling? Once you've perhaps identified a label or a name or a word, I invite you to drop into your body and explore what exactly those sensations are. Tiredness, hunger, sadness, happiness, excited. Whatever it is, dropping into your body and exploring the sensations that you notice here. Do they have a shape, a colour, a texture, a movement? Are they heavy? Are they light? Where do the sensations begin and end? We so often push these messages away from our body, and they let us know and give us information that we ignore. So in dropping into our bodies in this way, we have an opportunity to explore and notice, reinforcing the information that our bodies are sending us, that makes it easier in times of stress to recognize how we're feeling impacts on how we can respond. And that dropping into the felt sensations of our bodies allows us an opportunity to pause. Pausing before reacting. An opportunity to take care of our needs, so often go ignored. We simply follow our in-breath, not out-breath, and the pauses in between. And now an invitation to expand your awareness to include your breath in your body. And we're going to get ready to move. So perhaps dropping into the felt sensation of the anticipation, the waiting, maybe the dread that we're going to move, or maybe the relief that we're going to be moving. You don't need to be still anymore, and dropping into the felt sensation of simply what's here now as you wait for what I'm going to say. And then slowly and carefully and deliberately making your way to a sitting position, dropping into the felt sensation of each movement, that your body knows exactly what to do. And that's slowing it down, being deliberate. Noticing the movement of your body as you shift your weight. Your body knows how to keep you upright. The clicks. And then resting in the felt sensation of having made those movements. Now I'm going to invite you to bring your hands down by your side. So allowing maybe your hands touch the floor, maybe they touch the seat. Allowing your arms to be down by your side. Perhaps noticing the tingling in your fingertips. If your arms are hanging freely and you're noticing the sensation of the blood as it travels to your fingers, the tingling. Perhaps the contact with the earth if they're on the floor. Now I invite you to very, very slowly, as if your arms are floating away from the sides of your body, move your arms up to shoulder height. Going as slowly as you can. Exploring your edges, your boundaries, your limits. When we engage in the movement practices, we notice some of our habits and our tendencies pop up quite clearly when we push ourselves too much or too little. With your arms at shoulder height, just resting, the felt sensation of that movement. Can you notice what's here? The tops of your arms, the underneath. Does it feel warm or heavy or light? Are you resting here longer than you'd like? Are you pushing yourself further than you should be? Are you competing with yourself? Are you challenging yourself enough? That's noticing the chatter of the mind and dropping into the felt sensation of your body. And then slowly bringing your arms back down to your side. If you haven't done so already, slowly And carefully. And then resting in the felt sensation of having made those movements. Bringing an open and kind welcome to your experience. Yes, feeling relief. Perhaps feeling the pleasure of no longer holding your arms up. It's feeling warmth or coolness or tingling. And now again, remaining in a sitting position, I'm going to invite you to move your weight forwards, shifting your weight forward. You can have your eyes open or closed, it's up to you. And seeing how far you can lean before your boundaries are pushed and you would lose your balance. It's noticing the muscles that engage around your stomach and your buttocks. Do your arms shift forward to support your body? Your legs engage to support you. Your body knows exactly what to do to keep you upright. The physics of you. And then once you reach your limit, resting here just for a few moments, and dropping into the felt sensations within the body. What muscles get involved that you perhaps wouldn't take the time to notice? What do your feet do? Your calves, your thighs, your back, your belly, your arms. Are your shoulders up by your ears? Are you clenching your jaw? Are you holding your breath? And then if you haven't done so already, bringing yourself up to a sitting position. Resting in the felt sensation of having made that movement. And then resting your hands in your lap if you haven't done so already. Allowing your body to take the weight of your arms. This takes pressure off your joints, your wrists and your elbows and your shoulders. You can support yourself, bear some of the load, take the pressure off. Support yourself and your own body to take care of you. Now we're going to move into some neck stretches, so being very careful with yourself, listening to your body and your needs, and slowly bringing your chest, bringing your chin to your chest, and perhaps lifting your chest up a little bit to your chin to support yourself. Slowly noticing the stretch in the back of your neck. Again, listening to your body and your needs. And then rolling your head across to your left shoulder carefully and slowly. Just noting a stretch in the side of the neck. There are various schools of thought on how these stretches should be done. And the invitation is to listen to yourself and your needs. And then bringing your chin back down to the center of your chest. Perhaps noticing the stretch down your spine. And then bringing your right ear round and across to your right shoulder. As close as feels comfortable for you. We're not pushing, not a competition. It's noticing the weight of your head. Your neck carries this weight most of the day, fairly unnoticed. And then bringing your head up to neutral position. And resting in the felt sensation of that movement. Now, again, you can have your eyes open or closed. If you've had them open, an invitation to close them. And if you've had them closed, an invitation to open your eyes. Bringing your arms up, slowly above your head, away from your sides. As slowly as you want to do. And an invitation to, when you get there, to reach as far as you can with both arms. As if you're reaching for a box. Maybe you want to look up. Feeling the stretch within your shoulders and your spine, the sides of your waist. Checking that your shoulders aren't up by your ears. Just reaching. What can you notice here? Checking that you're not clenching your jaw, that you're not holding your breath. You're breathing. And then returning your arms back down to your waist. Listening to the clicks and the movements of your body. It knows exactly what to do. And resting in the felt sensation of having made those movements. Being an impartial witness to yourself. Now I'm going to invite you to move and stretch in whatever way your body feels called to do in this moment. You might want to do some twists. You might want to do some more arm stretches. You may want to stretch out your legs. And simply moving as your body feels called to do. Slowly and carefully listening to yourself. Maybe standing. And then when you're ready, making your way to a sitting position with your hips higher than your knees and a self-supporting spine. Picturing somebody pulling you up by the crown of your head. And taking a moment to arrive in your body as it is now. Having made those movements. Noticing the points of contact that you're making with the earth. Remembering that there's no right or wrong way of doing these practices. We're simply noticing. And each time our mind wanders, we're firmly but kindly bringing ourselves back to the present moment. And this is the key to the practice, the noticing. We're not monks, not living in monasteries in quiet, spending our days in meditation. We are taking this time to be with ourselves and to notice, to be present, to pay attention to our bodies and our breath. With kindness and curiosity and interest in what it is to be you. Holding ourselves in a kind way. With curiosity and gentleness to what we find and what we notice. We don't need to change anything. We can simply be with things as they are and observe them. And drop into the direct experience of what it is to be us as we sit and breathe in our bodies. Bringing attention to your in-breath, if that feels right for you, simply breathing in and breathing out and noticing the sensations of your in-breath. Where in your body is the breath most vivid for you today? Can you feel the coolness of the air as it enters the nostrils? Can you notice where it disappears, where you can no longer feel it, perhaps in the throat, maybe sort of the back of your mouth? And now an invitation to bring your attention to your out breath. Where's the out breath most vivid? Again, maybe it's your nostrils. Maybe you can notice the warmth of the air as it leaves your body. Maybe you can notice it on your top lip. And now an invitation to notice the pauses between your in-breath and your out-breath, where you're neither breathing in nor breathing out. They might just be nanoseconds. And the body's exchanging oxygen and carbon dioxide and doing all sorts of wondrous things without you having to do anything deliberate or different. Just gets on with it. It's not sentimental about it. Doesn't need praise. But perhaps we can observe ourselves with a compassionate eye as we observe the pauses between our in-breath and our out-breath. Take the time to notice what's happening in our bodies. Being open to the now and our experience of simply being. That our minds will wander into the to-do lists and the forgot to-do lists and what to have for tea. And we drop into our bodies, bring ourselves to the present moment, using our breath and our bodies as a way of anchoring in the now. Minds wander, that's what they do, it's their job. Not criticizing, simply noticing and returning our attention to the breath and the body each time it wanders off in the stories. Your thoughts are not facts and you are not your thoughts. They're mental events. And we're taking the time to observe the events of our body as we breathe. You feel light, heavy, warm, cool. Expanding your awareness from the breath to include all of the body. Having a sense of where you begin and end. Noticing the air against your skin, the fabric of your clothes. Room for it all. Trusting in your experience. That beginner's mind, that fresh curiosity. Allowing the present to be the way it is. And I'm going to close this practice with a poem by William Stafford. It's all right. Someone you trusted has treated you bad. Someone has used you to vent their ill temper. Did you expect anything different? Your work, better than some others, has languished, neglected. Or a job you tried was too hard and you failed. Maybe weather or bad luck spoiled what you did. That grudge held against you for years after you patched up has flared, and you've lost a friend for a time. Things at home aren't so good. On the job, your spirits have sunk. But just when the worst bears down, you find a pretty bubble in your soap at noon. And outside at work, a bird says hi. Slowly, the sun creeps along the floor. It is coming your way. It touches your shoe. So moving and stretching in perhaps ways that you wish you had earlier. I'm going to move into sharing a cup of tea, and I've got an extra one. You don't have one. And I've been moving to using the herbs, local herbs within the practice, but today I'm going to go back to a cup of tea that I have every year around my daughter's birthday, because I had it with me when she was born. And it's called I Am Goddess, which I think is very apt. This is a traditional oolong tea, sort of between a green tea and a black tea. It's kind of that in-between stage. Tea is like a bit like olives. Picked at different stages. Okay, this is what it looks like. And the invitation around the tea is a nod to my profession as an occupational therapist, and that our occupations and the things that we do can become meditations. The very simple and the mundane, the ordinary. So I'm going to press pause on the recording. For those of you accessing the recording later, the invitation is to perhaps journal about your direct experience of the practice. It could simply just be filling a page of a notebook, small notebook, of what came up for you. And pressing pause now for a few minutes. So to close, we're just going to do a 3-part breathing space. So this 3-minute practice that we were invited to do last week in 3 stages. So as we get more familiar with the practice, we can shorten it. So just taking a moment to arrive in your body, noting any thoughts or feelings or sensations. Perhaps scanning from your head down to your toes. Just checking for any points of tension. And then narrowing your attention to your breath, simply breathing in and breathing out. Maybe noticing the pauses. You can count the breaths if that feels helpful. And simply noticing the sensations here. And then expanding your awareness to include all of the body. Sense of you breathing, the points of contact that you're making with the earth, the space that's you and the space that's no longer you. And just taking the time to congratulate yourself for having taken the time out of your day to be here. In doing so, you're taking an active step in taking care of your own health and well-being. And that it's not easy. They're simple techniques, but they're not easy. So as best you can, taking this sense of connection and awareness into whatever you have left to do with your day. So perhaps just dropping in and taking a moment. What do you need to do next to take care of yourself? Maybe having a cup of tea, simply looking out the window. Maybe having something to eat and simply eating. So home practice for this week is a mindful movement, which I'll add to the link at the bottom of the page. You'll see it below. And there's also an invitation to alternate this. So this is a 10-minute guided movement practice that you can do. And then an invitation perhaps to be guiding yourself within a movement practice. So perhaps a mindful walk, for example. And the invitation is to do this inside, because when we're outside, we're very stimulated by what's going on around us. So it actually can be quite difficult to stay present. So a technique that's often used with by monks and nuns is to walk up and down in a designated space. So, for example, a yoga mat. So simply walking up and down and noticing the sensations of your feet on the floor, taking a slow pace. Simply walking. Noticing how the body shifts its weight. Experiment walking on your toes. The heels. So again, that childlike curiosity and interest in what it is to be you. Exploring your boundaries, your edges, your limits within the movement practice can be particularly interesting, because we notice when we push ourselves too far, or that we don't push ourselves enough, and we have that sense of, oh, I could have done a little bit more here, or I should have done a little bit less, when we topple or we fall, or like how we take care of ourselves within situations. So dropping into your body through movement. And as always, do reach out if you need anything, if you've got any questions or queries. And yeah, I'd love to know how you're getting on if you're accessing the live recordings. So have a lovely week.